I see where it say broadcast live. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
What's up, Bomb Squad? This is DC KOOLAID.
Hey, y'all. Oh, she's so excited.
Excited.
Hey, I ain't never. Yeah, no, I don't get excited. That's not my. I'm not a woohoo girl. We're not. That's not what I am. Not unless I want to fight somebody, but then I don't want to do that anymore because I'm old. So, hey, y'all. So we got real talk, and real talk is what happened to what I said. Okay, and real talk, it's a little more serious, and it's kind of a form back and forth. Hey, y'all, it's just kind of me venting and ranting. And DC is going to be monitoring the comments because I can't see the comments in the thingy. I can't see anything. I can just see that I can just see that I'm on. So hey y'all, I don't know who's there. So if I do have someone already, why do the hell nobody want? All right. So I'm trying. So I have a couple of things that I want to vent about that have perturbed me. And my first thing will be Mrs. Williams. She's no longer a Mrs. And while I would like to make fun of her because everybody else has, I won't. So how are you guys doing today? How is it? It is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday or Tuesday? What is today? It is hump day. Yes, it is Wednesday. Nick went to work. He had I guess, a full work day for a 16-year-old. He's on his way home, and he got basketball tonight, so he's gonna see what it's like to be a working man. A working man. So let me see if I can pull up YouTube until she comes back and see if I can pull up YouTube. What the hell is YouTube? What's this? Crazy. I'm using my Surface Pro to look at stuff. Okay, so I am on. Oh, I can see. Hey, yeah. Hey, Violet. Hey, Shamita. I'm going to try to do Hey Y'all once a day, maybe. It could be in the morning, could be in the afternoon, could be in the evening, could be at night. You never know when stuff hits you. Hey, Heaven said. Yes, Wednesday. Hey, Anna. Thank you so much. Thank you. I have no idea. Okay. I'm just looking down. Hey, Stephanie. All right. How we doing? And so this is just, how my mama used to say, if you didn't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So my mama used to tell me all the time. And I grew up with an attitude. So even if I didn't have nothing nice to say, I still say what the hell I want to say. So, as I got older, I still say what the hell I want to say. However, I try to be more appropriate in what I say. I was brought up in the time before political correctness. So we didn't have to try to figure out how to call somebody ugly or how to call somebody fat or how to call somebody anything. We just called them ugly or fat. I was fat. I wasn't pleasingly plump. I wasn't obese. I was fat. Get your fat ass somewhere and sit down. Somebody who was ugly to me, and let me preface that, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What I think is beautiful, others might not, and vice versa. So back in the day when I was growing up, if somebody was ugly to me, they was ugly. I didn't have to try to figure out how to make their feelings. I didn't want to make their feelings feel better. If I was calling you ugly, I wanted you to know that I thought you was ugly. But as you get older and then this time of sensitivity and political correctness and everybody's feelings getting hurt, you have to figure out what to say. So I can understand. I don't want to bash However, there comes a time when you have to go back. You have to go back old school. You got to take it back. You got to lay down the sensitivity training. You have to stop going so high when they go low. Sometimes you have to meet them where they are. So this is what I'm doing. This is what Hey Y'all is. This is me meeting folks where they are. So today I'm going to meet Ms. Williams. She's my first meeting. Just come on to the meeting hall. Yes, Ms. Williams, come on in. Come on in. Hey, y'all, how you doing? How you doing? All right. So I actually saw the clip. And I don't know why I saw the clip, truthfully. I know why I saw the clip. Realistically, y'all know, girl ain't got no job. Ain't going nowhere. I'm mobile, but I'm not mobile. House ain't really set up for me to be mobile, so I get around, but I get around. So I'm here at the house. So I flip channels. I don't watch TV a lot. I'll stop and I'll read and I'll do something else. I'm not a big flipper, so I was just flipping channels. I mean, I'm a big flipper. That's all I'm trying to say. My bad. I spoke. I misspoke. I am a big flipper. Because it's not on TV. So let me see. Let me see what Wendy's talking about. So just so happens, your girl flipped to Wendy right when she was at her most bestest assholiness. I do not know. Let me start this by saying I have only recently become acquainted with YouTube, and somebody should have told me that YouTube can be, I mean, not YouTube, but TikTok. I heard people talk about TikTok. People have sent me TikToks. People post TikTok on Facebooks. I don't know why I put more S on there, but you know, people have told me about TikTok on Facebook, and I've seen the clips. And but I never just sat down and just watch TikTok like that. Till recently, y'all remember when I started watching TikTok. So anyway, I still have not been on even a minute corner of TikTok. I kind of stick to what I like. So I wouldn't have seen this little boy unless he popped up on my For You page or somebody stitched him or dueled him or whatever they did. So I didn't know who Swavy was. I didn't know who he was. He was a cute little boy. I saw the little picture behind him. I didn't know what she was about to say. But I had heard something about someone on TikTok passing away. So I was assuming when I flipped and saw the little boy before she started speaking, I was assuming that she was going to take the stance of a television professional. And I guess you would call her a journalist, I guess. She does art. I don't know what she is, truthfully. So I'm not about to lie. So I don't know what her title is. So I guess she was a shock jock back in the day. For anybody that's old and know what that means, that's just it means what I said. She was a shock jock. She said and did things on her radio show for the shock value, for the value of it as be as salacious and as very seldom good, mostly bad as possible. So that's what she was. So I don't know what particular title that is for anybody. I don't know if it's journalist, reporter. I don't know. So anyway, so I'm thinking she's about to do, a little segment. This young man, he passed away today. I'm so sorry. I feel for his parents. Da 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 da. That's what I thought was about to happen because I kind of halfway read about someone on TikTok had been murdered. A little boy on TikTok had been murdered. I read that. So I sat there because that's not what happened. I sat there and I kept watching it because you ever just watch something and then you just go, the fuck? Did she, what? Wait a minute. And it just catches you. That caught me. And I'm going to tell you why that caught me. This little boy was 19. He's 3 years older than my son. And I don't care if I don't know who you are. The loss of any child, and to me, that's a child. I don't care if he's an adult. in by law or whatever. But to me, that's a child. He's a 19-year-old child in the prime of his life doing his damn thing. So, and I feel for anyone in the prime of their life and losing their life. So I was thinking that that's what was going to go on, but that's not what went on. She started to say, hold on, let me see if I can get to it. This is how she started. I have no how, and I'm reading this. So this is a quote. And I wanted to make sure I had an actual quote of what she said, not just trying to get it from memory, because I kind of zoned out after I saw her acting like she was a mean girl in high school. I have no idea who this is. Neither does one person in this building. Now, here's the thing. I am 54 years old, and you're correct. I had no idea who it was, but I heard the gentleman had passed away, and I'm sure she knew because she finished the segment by saying he was murdered. All right. Then she went on to say, he's a TikTok star. He's got more followers than me, 2.5 million. And she said all this before she said anything about him being killed. And then she went on to banter back and forth with, I guess, with her producer or some dude that worked for her, talking about, but you have more followers on Instagram. At that time, they needed to fluff her up and make her feel better because he has more followers on TikTok than she does. And because, I don't know why. So eventually she said something about, that's before she said anything about him being murdered. She shared how she really doesn't do anything on TikTok. And then she said, oh, he was murdered. And then she went on to say, all those followers. That's really tragic. And I just sat there for a minute because I was like, it boggled my mind. It blew me for a second because I didn't understand what had happened. A 19-year-old young man had passed away. Regardless of how he died, he was a media celebrity. He died. Your job is to tell celebrity news, and the best you could muster, oh, that's tragic, all those followers. His mother was going to see that. His friends are going to see that, but mostly his mom. Because here's the thing. Here's the jam. Here's the thing. I didn't know the little boy, but my heart hurt because I have a 16-year-old son. I didn't know his mama. I know his mama. But I said a little silent prayer because she had lost her son. And then, as I was watching this disrespectful hag, I just can't imagine how she is still on television. Right after she said that about the lady who said she's going to retire her husband. And then I think she went on to say some other crazy stuff about somebody else. I just read this. She got to apologize to Britney Spears. Come on. Let me tell you something. I get it. Sometimes you don't know what to say. Sometimes you don't know how to express yourself. Sometimes you don't. But there's a certain decorum. There's a certain thing. If somebody loses a child, you don't discuss his TikTok followers first. You don't talk about him as though he weren't inconvenience for you to talk about. Oh, I just got to talk about this little boy because he was on TikTok. That's how she talked about it. That's how she reported on her little show his death and things like that. Oh, I got to talk about this little boy. That's how she made me feel when I watched that segment. And I clicked off. I clicked off, and I don't watch her show. I don't think it's good. I don't think she's funny. Um, it's she's like a living, breathing representation of the trolls that we live with on YouTube and TikTok and anybody who's on social media. She's a living, breathing representation of that, because that's what she sounds like when she talks about people. She sounds like a troll. She talks like somebody who sits there and talks about people for no reason. Okay. I got a lubricant. And everybody's been coming at her, calling her Wendell and Wendolphus, and talking about her physicality and things like that, and how she's shaped and this thing. Here's the thing. I don't care if she's the baddest bitch. I don't care if she is shaped like a light pole. All I care about is what comes out of her mouth in public when you are dealing with somebody who has lost a child. I cannot imagine what that mama is going through. Because when us regular folk lose our kids, we go through the grieving process, and the whole world doesn't grieve with us. They don't, constantly bring it up, and they don't constantly post things, and they don't constantly call our child's name. We can grieve in private the loss of a child. This lady has to deal with the loss of her child and the constant reminder of that said loss. And the only thing that she could muster was, ooh, all those phones. What a shame. Let me look over here and see what y'all saying. Hey, y'all. Please smash that like button, guys. Hey, Adrian. Hey to everybody. Hey, Adrian. That's true. That is true. Tall, lanky, ornery. You just. Maybe it's because she got her feelings hurt. Maybe it was because, and I think the lady, the actress, what's her name, Tabitha. I think Tabitha Brown is so cute. Her family is beautiful. She has a gorgeous, gorgeous family. After you had got your feelings hurt that time, I would have just sat down somewhere. I would have got somewhere and sat down. Now, let me tell you something. If that's who she is, that's who she is. And there are people like that, and there are people who like to watch her. And look here, baby. Don't stop being you. However, when you didn't want people to talk about your situation with your husband and stuff, you made a whole movie and then a whole thing about it, and you want to cry because people was talking about you. But then you want to turn around like you didn't learn anything from the situation. Let me tell you something. Just because we grown don't mean we can't learn. Just because we grown don't mean we can't adjust our behavior. Just because we grown and we've been used to doing something don't mean you can't do something else. Baby, you got to do better. You got to do better, because maybe you don't give a shit. And that's cool too, because hey, I appreciate anybody who don't give a shit about what people think about. But you are a public figure, and you publicly put your foot in your mouth at every turn, and that can't even be good for you. You got to sit there and realize that while I don't care what the hell people think about me, I don't want everybody to hate me. I don't want everybody to throw rocks, eggs at my car. I don't want everybody to talk about my appearance because they don't like me, not just because my appearance jacked up, but because I'm a jacked up person. It does not mean you cannot learn. That was disrespectful, unacceptable, and you should have, whoever the producer of your show is should have been like, they shouldn't have let that shit go out. They should have figured out how to keep that from being on air. Because that was a mess. That was a mess. It was a mess. That was a hot mess. That was an extra greasy hot mess. That was nope. And I get it's who you are. I get that. I do. I really do. I am who I am. The situation that I find myself, I put myself there. I don't blame anybody for anything that goes on. Whatever I did, I did. However, I learn and I grow. It's time. If you are not learning and growing, what the hell are you doing? Stop sitting up here saying you being true to yourself. You just being a bitch. You're not being true to yourself. There was no need for you to come at that situation from that angle. There was no need. The little boy didn't, he wasn't a, from what I understand, he was just kind of a young man who danced, did little stuff on TikTok. So he wasn't a, what's the word I'm looking for? He wasn't doing anything that you needed to come at him like that. There are people that upon their death coming at him sideways. It's fine. But he wasn't one of them. He was a child. And you came at him like that, full knowing that his mom and his family was going to see it. And you didn't give a shit. But I bet if something happened to your baby, you want all us to be sitting up there crying with you. You wanted all us to feel sorry for you when you went through that shit with your husband, but you want to talk about somebody else's relationship. Be careful what you put out there. Baby, that's what you get back. That's what you get back. But do you? You being true to you? Do you? You don't even have to take a class to learn how to deal with people. You don't even have to stop being who you are. Even the devil can make you feel good about yourself. It was unnecessary. It was an unnecessary set of, what she did was unnecessary. She could have still talked about the young man in a better way of doing so. Just because you didn't know who he was did not mean you deserve to talk about him like that. Don't talk about him then. If you didn't know who he was, and your demographic is not his demographic, you didn't even have to recognize his passing. You could have said nothing. You could have not spoken at all. Thousands of people die every day. Thousands of famous people die every day. And not everybody knows about it because we're not in their demographic. We don't listen to their music. We don't read their books. We don't watch their movies. We don't know what their accomplishments are. We don't know. If somebody that I didn't know passed away, somebody that I didn't watch his movies or listen to his music, or I had no feelings on him at all, I wouldn't speak on him or her. Because I have nothing, I don't know anything about them to speak upon their death. I respect them enough to not say anything. If you didn't know who the little boy was, why did you speak on him? There were thousands of other media outlets that were going to speak on this little boy's passing and do it much better than you. You didn't need the smoke that you brought to your door. You didn't need it. That's all I got to say about that. It disturbed me. It disturbed me because I read another on Facebook how the mother was wanting a apology. And y'all know how I feel about forgiveness and saying I'm sorry. If you did it, you meant it. So saying I'm sorry means nothing, because had you been sorry, you would not have done it. You wouldn't have did it. If you gonna apologize for something that you physically took the time to do, then your apology is unnecessary because it means nothing. You're just saying it because I asked for it. It's not because it was heartfelt. It's not because you meant it. It's not because it holds any weight. Anything that Wendy Williams says to this young man's mama holds no weight because she doesn't mean it. She said what she meant. And people always talking about cancel culture. See, herein lies the problem with that. It's not about canceling someone. It's about not giving them what they so desperately desire. And that is attention. Some people are all about any attention is good attention, bad or good. And I think that's her situation. I think that's her situation. Any attention is good attention. So I don't have anything really good I could say. So let me say this because people will pay attention to me. If you want to really hurt somebody, ignore them. Ignore them. Stop watching the shows. Stop hitting likes on the gram or the TikTok or whatever. Ignore them. Now, while my ignoring someone, one or two people, but if everybody who has expressed their disgust and disdain for Wendy, if all those people actually ignore them, then maybe, and you hit them where it really hurt, them pockets, then maybe they'll understand that there are consequences to your actions. See, therein lies the problem. We were talking about it. I don't know why we were talking about it. We were talking about how, I think I was just watching the TV show, and how we were talking about John Wick. It wasn't reality. We were talking about John Wick. And my sister said if they'd have just left his dog alone, none of this would have happened. And I said, the problem is that boy's daddy didn't teach him about accountability, responsibility, consequences to your actions. Because that little boy grew up with money, because that little boy grew up in a situation where he felt like he was the boss because his dad was the boss, he did not have to learn about accountability. He didn't have to learn about consequences. So he thought he could say whatever he wanted. He wanted the car. Didn't get the car. So he decided he was going to take the car and make a point because nobody had taught him about the consequences to your actions. Nobody taught him that there's a bigger and better you out there. See, I learned that. I talk a lot of shit, so I had to learn that. There's always somebody out there bigger and better. There's always a bigger and better troll. There's always a bigger and better you. There's always a bigger and better. And when you're young, you don't really know that. She ain't young. There's always a bigger and better situation. There are plenty of people like her. When last time y'all talked about Ricky Lake? Sally Jesse Raphael. The one who got the dude killed when she brought I don't even know where she is. I can't even think of her name anymore. She did the show a long time ago. Brought the gay man on there who liked this guy who was not gay, but he was also crazy. And after the show, he killed the gay guy because the gay guy embarrassed him on TV. Her show gone. We don't even, they erased her name. There's always a bigger and badder out there. And we got to start realizing that before we start messing with people. You have no idea what you do. I have learned from being on YouTube that you have no idea how the public feels about you. Now, Wendy, you out here making jokes about this little boy. You out here acting like his death was irrelevant. You have no idea who you might have adversely affected. You have no idea who might decide that they tired of what. Please don't ever wear them shorts outside again. I just had to say that because the next picture of her was some. I can't with these people. I'm sorry. I digress. You don't know. There are consequences to your actions, and when you think that you're above the consequences, then that's why you get stuff like that. That's why you get situations like Jenny Jones. Thank you. You're true. You're right, Darlene. You're right. You true that. True that. But here's the thing. My problem is not that she's a gossip columnist. That's not my problem. I didn't watch her before this. This had no, this particular event that she thing she did has no bearing on whether or not I'm going to watch her again. I didn't watch it before. I didn't give her my money before. I haven't watched the movie. I haven't watched her. I will flip past and I might see somebody I like on there, and then I hear her voice and I turn. I don't even like to hear her voice. I didn't like her when she was on the radio. I think everything is all well and good. You being gossipy and trippy is all well and good, but it's just something about her that is, to me, that is irritating. So I don't watch her. I don't make fucked up comments on her thing. I don't troll her. I don't do any of that. I just don't watch. But this got me because I got a kid. And this ain't the first time. This is just a long line of you should just shut the hell up. Even the people that you mentioned, Darlene, knew when to shut the hell up. They had a point. They had a point that they didn't cross. They would go up to the point. They might straddle the point, but they never completely crossed that point. She don't even have no points no more. What the hell ever come up, come out. And which is cool. Which is cool, because I'm all about saying what the hell is on your mind. I'm all about if somebody make you, if somebody need to be cussed out, cuss them out now. Don't wait till later. I'm all about that. But I just have issues with that. That wasn't my enemy. That wasn't somebody I didn't like. That was somebody I didn't know. I don't know that lady. But I know that I have a 16-year-old kid. And I know that I can't imagine turning on my TV or my friends who watch her or some of the people who used to watch her son are I'm telling you, she got messages. I'm telling you, her DMs were full. Have you seen? Did you see? Are you looking at? Have you? Did you? Have you? Have you? Said you? Did you? Can you imagine working through the death of your son and then having to go watch that and how disrespectful she was on a universal platform because you can pick up Wendy anywhere you go. She just not in America. Hey, educated. Hey, y'all. Can you imagine waking up to that bullshit? Or can you imagine thinking that, oh, I like Wendy, let me see what she talking about today, and your son picture pop up? You're going to take a minute out of your grieving to try to get your mind clear. And the person that makes you laugh, it's Wendy. Wendy be making me laugh. I'm going to go look at the Wendy Williams show today. And your son's picture pops up, and then she proceeds to talk about your son like that. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. A few years ago, a young man in New York was killed on the street. And every time I saw that picture, because he's the same age as Nick, every time I saw that picture, I saw my baby. Every time I saw his mother break down, I saw my baby. It wasn't my baby. I didn't know that lady. We weren't cousins. We weren't friends. She wasn't nobody. She wasn't even a entertainer or a star or somebody that, because I don't really, and y'all gonna hate me a little bit. I don't really get, they say which uh entertainer or actor or singer or whatever, which death affects you the most? Done. These people are for entertainment. It's their job. I feel bad for the family, the people they left behind, but I don't know them. But I felt bad for that lady. I felt something. I felt it. When George Floyd was murdered on TV and he called for his mama, every mama in the world felt that shit. We all wanted to be at that baby's side at that moment. And that was a grown ass man who I'm sure did his dirt. But at that very moment, every real mama in the world wanted to be there for him. Every time I see somebody lose a baby, especially the violence, I can't imagine what the mother is going through. And when somebody makes light of that, I can't imagine what the mother is going through. Yeah, her son around the same age. And that's the thing. That's what really did me. That's what really did me. Because your son is around the same age. And if something happens to her baby, if he was in a car accident and stubbed his toe, she will be asking for y'all to pray for her baby. I don't get it. I don't get it. But it is what it is. We can't stop people from being who they are. You know what? I just looked down at my picture on this thing. And do y'all see how great my hair? That is disrespectful. It's so rude. Do y'all see how great it is? That's just, what? There was that one. There was that one. And I had another one. I had one more. Let me think of it right now. I'm tired of being wise. I'd be a little stupid for a little haircut. My bad. Yeah, that was the thing. That's been blowing. I know the other. Okay. So this is just the second one. And after this one I'm trying to interact with y'all because it's not gonna be long lives, but they're just gonna be lives, and we're gonna go live. We're gonna talk about people. Not talk about them, talk about them, talk. So I'm scrolling through something. I want to say Facebook. Might have been Facebook. I think it was Facebook. It might have been Facebook. It might have been. I might have just been looking at Google. One of them. I don't know. So I see. Does anybody see the video? Did anybody see the Victoria's Secret Karen? We see it? Did we see it? Did we see it? Did we see it? Did we see the Victoria's Secret Karen? What you laughing at? Because here's the jam. What caught me? Let me tell you what caught me was. What caught me was before she started tripping. What caught me was when I don't know why she was videotaping her. From what I understand, when they go up in the story, now that it's become such a big story, from what I understand, the before the recording happened, the white lady had pushed black lady, picked up her phone and started recording, and she was far away from her. Y'all saw the video. Y'all saw the video. And when she ran up on her and she was about to hit her, and she realized that was a camera, and she said, "Oh, no, you don't." And she backed up, went, wait. I'm gonna start with the funny, and then I'm gonna go to the dumb as hell. So I watched the thing where she threw the shirt on the counter, and then she started screaming incoherently, and then she laid out and she pretended to faint, and then she kept telling the lady to get away from her while she was chasing her around the thing. And then we get to the police intervention, and that is where this is no longer funny. That is where this is no longer funny. Lately, everybody's been talking about race, white supremacy, things like that. People have been talking about teaching critical race theory in schools and how people are opposed to that. If you're not keeping up, they are trying to take away voter rights in the Southern Bible Belt states. Texas is wants to put all of the Democrat congressmen from Texas in jail because they left so that they couldn't pass certain voter rights bills and things like that. And if you just flip on your Google or your YouTube or your Facebook or your TikTok, you will see somebody escorted out of the mall because, or out of a store because a Black person, because they thought they were stealing, because, oh, we thought, even though. So, all right. So we get down to the part where the police are there. The police tell the lady who's doing the filming that they can't kick her out of the mall. They can't escort her out of the mall. Now, we have watched on more than one occasion, not just one person escorted out, but an entire group of people of color escorted out of a mall, a store, told they couldn't come back in, told to leave out, told them if they keep on acting the way they're acting, they're going to get arrested for a resisting arrest or some dumb shit, that you can't resist arrest if you're not under arrest. But I digress. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. They get there, and the police officer is telling the lady who was doing the filming that he doesn't want to see the video. He doesn't need to see the video. I can't put her out of the mall. It's not my job. But I know I have seen you escort many African American or person of color out of a mall, out of a store. A young man, he was trying to buy shampoo. He got escorted out of a CVS. They pulled a gun on a 2-year-old who had stolen a dollar doll from the Dollar General and his pregnant mom. They just body slammed a pregnant lady who was trying to figure out why her friend or cousin or sister was being escorted out of the mall, store / whatever. I can't, people. I'm just at a loss. And then they want to make excuses for her. She was having a mental breakdown. She had to be mentally incompetent. She had to be having an episode. And you know what her mental incompetence was? She mentally just remembered that people who get caught doing dumb shit like that on camera lose their jobs. She mentally just remembered that it's people right now unemployed for the stuff they say on Facebook and the stuff they see on YouTube. So that's why she had a nervous breakdown. She had a nervous breakdown. She thought if she could scream and cry and first she thought she could get Black lady arrested. But everybody in the store was like, she didn't do that. They did. So when that didn't work, they helped her out. Well, we can't take her out of the mall. It's not our job. We can't force her to leave. Okay. Come to find out that the lady who was filming worked for a police department in another area. And the lady who was tripping, mom was a police officer in that area. I can't watch any more. I can't watch any more of these videos without somebody explaining to me the necessity. I can't watch any more cops being called on people walking down the street or kids skateboarding on the sidewalk or a UPS or FedEx man trying to deliver a package, a Uber Eats or a DoorDash person trying to deliver a meal. I can't. Somebody has to explain to me. They have to explain that to me because I don't understand. I can't keep watching. I can't keep watching our people get arrested and then let go the next day because they didn't do anything but they were still traumatized by the arrest. I can't keep watching that. I can't keep watching people not making it home. And this little boy, he was, I don't know, 17, 18. He was between 17 and 19, little white boy working on his truck, trying to get to his job at 6 a.m. He gets pulled over, and because his transmission doesn't work, he uses a 5-gallon antifreeze, a big jug of antifreeze, not a little gun-shaped antifreeze, not a gun case, not anything, but a blue bucket of antifreeze he puts behind his tire. He's trying to put behind the tire of his car so his car doesn't roll back on the police car, and he's shot in the chest. I can't keep watching that, and everybody's having excuses for this behavior other than stop. The voter rights. Let me tell you something. It took forever. It took forever for women and people of color to get the right to vote. And now, because Trump lost, you do understand, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't for the life of me figure out the hold that Trump has on the world, or not the world, but the American, the Make America Great people. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. He almost has a Michael Jackson type hold on him, to where he is almost godlike. So I don't know. All of this is because he lost, and because the Republican lost. And now they're trying to make sure it doesn't happen again, while they're simultaneously trying to take away any aid and help to the people who they have allowed to die. COVID has killed over 600,000 Americans. It is still getting them sick. You're still having people talking about the vaccine is a way to track us. The government can track us. They don't need a vaccine. Everybody and their grandmama got a smart TV or a phone or something with a camera on it. They can know how to turn. Why would they want to put it in you? I'm at a loss. It is killing me. I don't understand. I don't understand modern racism. Well, let me say this. Let me say it this way. I don't understand modern bias, bigotry, and prejudice, because racism, to have racism, you must have prejudice plus power. And people don't realize that their own people are racist against them because you don't have money. All these people that are at these rallies and talking about, do you know that somebody, they got signs that say Trump and JFK Jr. for president in the boy state? One sign said Trump equal Jesus. I was like, wait, okay, oh, okay. I missed that class, and I went to Catholic school, so I missed that whole Jesus class. I don't understand modern bigotry and prejudice. I don't understand. Look down at your feet. Look at the lines for Jordans and Yeezys and things like that. Just as many white folks in that line as is black people. Your favorite basketball star. Favorite football player that's not a quarterback. And I say that to say something else. Your favorite singer. The person who made up the dance you're doing. They're all, where does this modern bigotry come from? I don't get it. These kids didn't grow up in bumfuck backwater. They didn't grow up with just 4 channels on the TV and just a house phone and no internet and Pong. That's not what the fuck they grew up with. These kids are growing up with being able to speak to somebody in China on their phone without having a long distance phone call. These kids have the internet and they have video games that they can play with somebody they've never met, and that's their best friend. I don't understand where it's coming from. We are still dying. It is still happening. And I don't get it. And these incidences of people calling the police and being able to think that they can ask someone, they can ask the UPS man or the FedEx guy, girl, I just say man, but the FedEx person for their ID because you don't look like you belong here. That you can ask somebody why they're dumping the trash or why you're riding on the street, that you have that authority. That you can put your hands on somebody in Victoria's Secret and you be the one have a nervous breakdown. And you're the one that's crying. For the life of me, I don't understand. Thank you, Rico. Hey, Rico. Oh, yeah. They did nothing. The one lady kept standing in between her and the other lady. There was one, if you notice, she was off to the side, but she would position herself in between the Karen and the black lady. So, and I ain't trying to be funny. Look, I'm not about to get in between no fight, folks. I don't know. I would have, however, called the police on old girl, which I'm assuming that's what they did because the police showed up. But I doubt it. They didn't do anything with her. They didn't take her out of the building. They didn't do anything with her. They said that's not their job. They came to escort her out. But I'm sure I'm not the only person who has seen people escorted out of the mall. So that's a lie. But hey, whatever. We got to do better, people. We got to do better. We got to do better. Huh? Yeah. We got to do better. We got to do better, Wendy. Do better. If you can't muster up enough humanity to act like a no, you ain't got to act like a decent person. If you can't just lie and not be a complete ass, just don't speak on it. If you are so gone, you're so far gone that you can't even muster up enough lie to just not speak on somebody, then just find something else to do, baby. You've been in the business a long time. Write another book. The cameras are not your friend anymore anyway. Go back on the radio. Do a podcast. But get that. Come on, man. And we have got. I am not beholden to you. I don't owe you my ID. I don't owe you to tell you why I'm here or if I belong in this neighborhood or anything. I don't owe you that person. I don't owe that to anybody, regardless of their ethnicity. I don't owe that to anybody. I'm gonna tell you like I tell anybody. Fuck you. And what about? Stop putting your hands on people and you wouldn't have these problems. Stop putting your hands on people. I don't understand how you're entitled to your anger about nothing. I don't understand that. If you are so busy that you couldn't wait in line, then you should have waited until you weren't so busy to go into Victoria's Secret. Because unless I ain't been to Victoria ever, because you know what the hell I'm gonna wear out of Victoria's Secret. But I don't remember them selling business suits, so you wasn't getting nothing to wear to work. And if you so far off on draws that you gotta go up, and that's you should have stopped at Walmart. I don't understand. Stop telling people what you want them to do, what they need to do for you. And I'm not saying this, I'm not focusing on anybody on any particular race. If you do it, then you do it. Stop it. Because somebody's going to start whooping your ass. Somebody's going to start taking out their anger and frustration of their day on you. And you ain't ready for that. Hold on, I saw the thing moving. Hold on, yeah. I'm glad you're doing better, Rico. But yeah, yeah. We have got to do better. We got to do better, people. I don't get it, and I never will. Cause see, I'm the kind. Here's my jam. Here's my thing. It doesn't matter how often you explain something to me. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense, and you can't sway me to your point of view. You can't sway me to your point of view. Her actions make no. You can't tell me that that's just who she is. Let me tell you what that sounds like. Let me tell you what that sounds like. When you say that's just who Wendy Williams is, that also sounds like that boys will be boys attitude. That sounds like because you bought me dinner, I am obligated to fulfill your needs because we went out on 3 dates. And it is your right to get whatever you want from me because you fed me a couple times. See, that's those ideals. When you sit up there, instead of making people accountable for their actions, including what come out their mouth, then you're gonna have to deal with. I don't want to keep saying that's just who they are. That's just like saying you have a parent who is homophobic, but you keep taking your gay child around them because that's just who they are. You have you force somebody into a situation to deal with their molester because that's who they are, because they're their relatives, their family, you know. Or you tell little girls that they can't wear what they want to wear because it makes the boys excited. We gotta keep the boys from getting excited. Instead of explaining to the little boys, keep your hands to yourself. We have to stop making these excuses because that is just not who they are. The Karens of the world, that is just not who they are. That is somebody who has seen that there are no consequences for their actions, that they can weaponize their tears in their situations and they can get what they want because that is what is allowed, because people say that's just who they are. I am sick of that's just who they are shit, because guess what? Hitler was nice to a fucking dog. Killed millions of people, but he was nice to dogs. So please don't tell me that you can't hide your stupid in public for just a minute and keep just who the fuck you are at home. I'm sick of that. That's just who they are. That's just who they are. That's just who they are. Let me tell you some good stuff. You don't have to go around anybody because that's just who they are. Your mama, your dad, your sister, your brother, your cousins, your uncles, your aunties, the people you went to school with, the people you grew up with, the people you work with. Your children don't have to hug somebody. Your kids don't have to play with their kids. Your kids don't have to share their toys with their kids. Your daughter don't have to hang out with them. Your son don't have to play sports with them. And you don't have to deal with them. If you can't figure out how to deal with people in just a basic way, then ain't nobody got to deal with you. Yes, you're correct. But you don't have, if, okay, Does anybody in the chat have a relative, a close relative, not a distant cousin, or uncle or auntie, but a grandparent or a parent or a sibling that is just not right, that doesn't condone your lifestyle? Not even that, that doesn't condone you, that always has something bad to say about you, always has something negative to say about you. No matter what you do, it's not good. No matter what they do, it's the best. Do anybody have people like that? And when you were growing up, your parents forced you to be around it. And then you learn that from your parents. So you do that to your kids. I don't do that to mine. Yes. Individual perceptions and experiences and environments shape an individual. However, I don't have to deal with you just because we're related or because we grew up together or because we went to school together. I don't have to be bothered with you. If our energies don't match, if your situation is so far removed from my situation that we don't sync up, just because we know each other doesn't mean I have to deal with you. Just because we're related to each other doesn't mean I have to deal with you. You stupid ass. Just because, like Adrian said, I think that's Adrian. Hold on. Just because we grew up with it doesn't mean we have to deal with it. I'm not going to make my son kiss, hug, or say hello to anybody. If you disrespectful to me, you're going to be disrespectful to my kids. If you disrespectful to me, you're going to talk any kind of which way to my child or talk about me in front of him. I'm not going to make you go anywhere. If you don't like, if your son is gay and you're homophobic, don't hurt your child, son or daughter. I'm sorry, just I'm talking about my son. But if your child is different and you can't handle it, don't hurt your baby. Because that's how you grew up. We are not making each generation better. We are leaving them with a deficit, and we're leaving them in a hole that most of them can't climb out of because they don't even have to go through the shit we had to go through. They don't have the shit to fall back on that we had to. If we wanted to know something, we had to go to the library and look it up. We had to hope a concert came close enough to our town to see somebody. And we had to pray that the antennas on our TVs worked good enough. And your friends and your relatives sure better be within the same calling district because your mama wasn't going to let you call long distance. These kids don't even have that little bit to go. We are leaving them in a deficit, deep in a hole that they are having a very hard time climbing out of. And now they have so many more avenues to fuck up on. They put their entire lives on their smartphones, on their Instagram, on their stories on Facebook, on their TikTok. They put their entire life out there. All I'm saying, if you can't say or do better, then don't do it where people can see you. Be a miserable bitch in your house. If you feel like the world is you are entitled to the world and everything in it, please do that to where that happens for you. You understand what I'm saying? Don't come anywhere where you have to intermingle with the public and put that onto them. because not all of us are going to abide by your stuff. Not all of us are going to abide by it. Not all of us are going to bow down and scrape to you. More than likely, you're going to get cussed out. On a bad day, you're going to get popped in your mouth. Come on, guys. You just got to do better. I know. That's it. My sister, I truly love her, told me she always hated me because I was born last and she was born first, and she felt like I took her place. Hey, I'm sorry about that. But why does she hate you if you got two brothers in the middle? There's got to be something else to that. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just because we are sisters, brothers, cousins, nieces, nephews, uncles, mamas, daddies, if we do not mean well for the people that we're interacting with, then we just don't interact. We just don't interact anymore. We don't. We just don't. We just don't. If you don't like me, that's cool. I'm cool. I'm okay with you not liking me. I just won't be around you. I won't interact with you. I won't have anything to do with you. I won't get in your space and mess up your energy with mine. If I don't know you, then you don't. What do I look like getting mad with you because you're in the store or having a barbecue or skating? As long as you don't touch me, I don't care what you do, truthfully. And that's just me. If you don't know how to be even approximate being a decent human being, please do so behind closed doors to where you can be as miserable and evil and cantankerous as you want to be, and you won't affect anybody else. Because I'm going to tell you something, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. Words have weight. What people say, words and actions have a weight about them. Things that people say and do affect others. And most of the time, quiet as it's kept, the effect is negative. Hurting somebody's feelings. We're spoiling somebody's day. We're breaking somebody's heart. Just because we couldn't shut the fuck up for 3 seconds. Now, I'm going to be doing these little, hey, y'all. Oh, now, when something happens, because you know something will happen. Somebody will say something. You know, I've been watching TikTok, and there's a lot going on there. I might do TikTok tomorrow. I think I'm going to do TikTok tomorrow because I don't even have to go and have any other things. I can just do TikTok. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So tomorrow, I don't know whether it be morning, noon, night, late night, in the bed. I mean, in the bed, like laying down, holding the phone. Or professional. This is semi. So I want to thank you guys so much. I want to thank everybody, Violet, Shamita, Asia, Adrian, who I like when people talk back. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an avenue to go down. I thank you, Rico. I'm glad you're doing okay, baby. I'm glad that you're out of the hospital. I hope you get better and keep getting better. I thank you so much, Bomb Squad. Anybody new to it? Hey. If you're watching this in the replay, hit them comments down below. Tell me what you want to talk about. You don't have to agree with me. I like that. The world is made by everybody having their own opinion. But the thing about it is we should be able to coexist with differing opinions. I don't dislike you because you don't believe what I believe. There are billions of people around the world who don't. And I'm cool with them. So in the comments down below, let me know what's up. Make sure you hit that like button for me. You know, that's the cost of entry. Hitting that like button for me. And if you haven't hit it already, go ahead and hit it for me right now. Thank you. Share this video. Why not? If you share other stuff, share mine. I don't have no good reason. Other than that, somebody else needs to say, hey, y'all. Like, comment, share. Oh, if you just happen to be crossing this video, if they did share this video and you clicked it and you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe so you can keep looking. We do other stuff, including this. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are new, and every now and again, even if you're not, you want to check and see if that notification bell is still hit that notification bell so that every time we drop a video or go live, you guys can join us. This is one half of DC Kool-Aid and Lisa, the Lisa half. This is, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? And this is me. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining my live. Thank you for talking. And if I don't remember if I said, hey, Violet, thank you, Violet. I will see y'all again on Friday and probably tomorrow. We have bingo Friday and Sunday, real talk on Saturday, and then me the rest of the week. So y'all have a great afternoon. It is hump day. Let's get the rest of this week out. I love you guys. Thank you so much. This is your girl, Lisa.